Hey guys, how you doing? Hope you're doing okay. Going to read through pretty much the full article here. There's a link in the description. It is a tragic situation. In regards to the defendant here in the picture, her name is Amanda Malpasand. She's 34 years of age from Alabama, and she's been arrested for allegedly taking a large dose of heroin during the birth of her child earlier this month, and regrettably, the child died, the investigators believe, due to the dose of heroin. So we're going to look through the details. At this point, I'm going to give a mild trigger warning. There's going to be some details right now in regards to the death of the child, so a trigger warning there. Deputies with the Mobile County Sheriff's Office and Emergency Medical Services personnel on Saturday, March the 5th, responded to a 911 call about a newborn baby in distress at a residence on Cowart Road, Alabama. Upon arriving at the scene, first responders reportedly found the mother, Amanda Malpasand, 34 years of age, with the needle still in her arm, as she was holding a newborn baby who was both struggling to breathe and the baby was also barely conscious. Paramedics reportedly rushed the baby to the Ascension Providence Birthing Center, where doctors attempted to resuscitate the baby, the newborn. Unfortunately, the baby was reportedly pronounced dead a little more than an hour after arriving at the facility. Authorities said that the defendant, Amanda Malpasand, has confessed that she self-medicated for the entire duration of her pregnancy using both heroin and methamphetamine, meth. She allegedly specified that she intentionally used heroin to deal with her labor pains. Here's a quote from a sergeant involved in the investigation. She admitted that when she felt the labor pains and felt the child breaching, she self-administered a large dose of heroin. She was taken into custody on Thursday and charged with 1 count of chemical endangerment of a child, resulting in death. It is possible that that charge may be upgraded to murder, and even that initial charge has a maximum sentence of life in jail. The article tells us that a television reporter asked Amanda Malpasand, the defendant, if she was remorseful, and the defendant has said yes, of course. She's in jail, or she's been withheld. She has a bond of $75,000. If she's released, she'll be required to check in an inpatient drug treatment center for 90 days, and she's due to face court on March the 23rd for an arraignment. She also has 2 other children. Thankfully, those are not in her custody, have not been in her custody, if I understand correctly. So I'm going to wrap things up here. I'll just throw a couple of comments in. Number 1, she should not be released. $75,000 bond, I guess that's reasonably high, perhaps. But she shouldn't be given bond, really. Why would you release this woman? Why would you allow her to be released? She's a drug addict. She took a large dose of heroin, allegedly, whilst giving birth. I mean, who's to say that she just wouldn't get some more heroin and commit suicide? Apologies, but that's what springs to my mind. Then where would justice be? How would justice be served? But beyond that, what an absolute tragedy of drug addiction. Is it right to call this person a scumbag? Is it right to call them a scumbag? Probably it is. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert in drug addiction. Do drug addicts deserve some level of empathy? Yes, probably. Some level of empathy, not total empathy. If you're a drug addict, in almost all cases, not necessarily all, but in almost all cases, you would have chosen to indulge in drugs and would have chosen to continue to indulge in drugs. You would have chosen not to seek help or not to take any assistance, rehabilitation as seriously as required. to overcome the addiction. We all face the potential to be addicted to this, that, and the other. I've been addicted to, a few things, depending on your definition of addiction, over the course of my lifetime. And when things have become problematic, thankfully, I've taken the appropriate steps to get out of the addiction. It's something we all face. We can all be addicted to, whatever it happens to be. Smoking, alcohol, drinking, drugs of various kinds, overeating, gambling, porn, prostitution, sex. There's all kinds of things that we can be addicted to. And a lot of us are, as I say, a lot of us indulge in such activities for a certain period of time, and some allow themselves to get addicted. Some people more prone to addiction than others, yes. Do some people receive more physiological benefit from drugs? Yes. Apparently those that have had, or some people that have had a very traumatic childhood, heroin can set their dopamine or serotonin, whatever it happens to be, to such a point that they achieve normalcy. They're not necessarily euphoric, but they're not depressed. It takes them out of a depression. So I've gone on enough ramble there. Should we consider this woman a scumbag? Yes, probably. She's allowed to herself to foster an addiction throughout the duration of her pregnancy. She's literally taken an extremely large dosage of heroin. Anyone with 1.5 brain cells ought to know that that's going to put any newborn baby at extreme risk. Indeed, the baby died. So we hope the investigation carries on. I hope she's not released, as I say. I think she'd be at too much of a risk of suicide or disappearance. So I would not let her get out of jail. So hopefully the trial will go ahead. We feel for her other children who are thankfully not in her custody. But again, I'll wrap things up. If you do like this content, this video, this topic, please do give me a little bit of encouragement. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video. Have a look at some of the other similar cases that I have on this channel. Thank you.